Good morning. This is Yogesh Raj Singh from Kendriya Vidyalaya Pachmadi. Today I am going to teach poem. The name of the poem is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. This is for class 9 students. So listen very carefully. Let us start with the definition of the poetry. It is writing in language chosen and arranged to create a particular emotional response through meaning, sound, and rhythm. Poetry can communicate before it is understood. Well said by T.S. Eliot. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words as described by Robert Frost. Now, the things which are very important in the poem is choice and cost. Dear children, every choice you make has a cost because choosing to do one thing means giving up the opportunity to do something else. Faced with the same options, different people make different choices because each person has his or her own way of making decisions based on different values and beliefs. When faced with the need to make a decision, we try to think about the cost and guess the outcome. The poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. The road not taken. I am reading out the poem. Listen very carefully. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no steps had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads to on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled, and that has made all the difference. So, this was the pronunciation and flow of the poem. Now, we are going to analyze the literary terms. What is the poem about? Children, the poem is about a dilemma, the need to come to a decision, solve a problem. The theme of the poem. Theme. The central philosophical idea of a story or poem. We can usually find the theme by asking ourselves, what is the poem story about? Is the speaker really standing in a forest thinking which way to go? What does the road symbolize? The road symbolizes life. What is symbolism? The use of concrete image, symbol, to represent an abstract idea. What is the main dilemma in the poem? The speaker is at a fork in the road. He has to choose which way to go. The fork in the road is a metaphor for a point in life when you need to make a choice. A metaphor is a type of comparison in which one thing is described as if it has something. For example, life is a box of chocolates. How does the speaker solve this dilemma? He compares the two roads. Children, how does the speaker solve his dilemma? He compares two roads. He weighs the pros and cons. He tries to foresee the future. Which road does he choose? The less traveled by, the more adventurous, the less conventional. You have to find out. Now, problem solving thoughts. Problem solving is a thinking skill that involves identifying the problem, considering the options, weighing the pros and cons of each option, reaching a decision. How do you think the speaker feels about this choice? Last stanza takes place in the future. Sigh of relief, sigh of regret. The what if? What is the why is the poem called The Road Not Taken and not The Road Taken? You have to decide critically, you have to examine. Now, we'll have something about Robert Frost, 1874 to 1963. Robert Frost was born in San Francisco, California, but spent most of his life in New England, a rural area in the northeast of the United States. The area is characterized by hills, woods, farms, and small towns. Frost himself worked for many years as a farmer. In addition to teaching English and writing poems, his poems reflect the sights and sounds of where he lived, the fields, farms, and woods, and scenes of everyday life. All those elements make Frost poems accessible, leading readers to understand the deeper truths behind seemingly simple ideas. Thank you and have a nice day.